How's it going, guys? It's Burgers here and welcome to another Age of Empire mobile video. Today we're going to talk about the Confucius, one of the best healers in the game right now. Yeah, it may sound strange, like directly from the start, yo, this is the best healer in Age of Empire mobile, but I have some solid solid backup arguments for this, for Confucius to be one of the best healers in the game right now. And as you can see, we're in the test server, pioneer server. So with the time, I think I was in every test pioneer server from this game actually exists. Okay, let's say I was like 8 months AFK. So I mean, till I was playing, I was testing everything that is happening, that is coming in the game. So I actually test Confucius in the open field fights, some swarming situation with the tribes. And I believe the purest way to test or compare like two heroes is against the tribes, because you're going to get absolutely the same condition always. You go to level 30 archer, you're going to get the same condition with every hero against this level 30 marksmen. So let's answer the first and maybe most important question, why this thing actually matter. And if you get Confucius wrong, you're going to lose trace. You should actually win. You waste healing potential. This is the second thing, because as I already mentioned, this bad boy is having crazy healing. As you can see, even the commander skill is about the healing. And you're going to burn troops for no reason. But if you get it right, Confucius doesn't just heal. He completely changed how fight actually work. And this is going to be from the signature skill. We're going to go there. Maybe I can let's break this down in the right way, so there is no some confusion or something like this. Now, first of all, I'm going to go just very fast over the spells. I really don't like to do the spells word by word, but for the next 6 seconds, recovers your units 1 per second, recover rate 60%, strategy bonus, and double the unit recovery effect of Disciplined. Now, Disciplined is something that you're going to receive in the signature skill. Double the unit recovery. So 6 and 6 is 360% recovery rate. Crazy healing from the start. From there, you can go, and the signature skill applies Disciplined. So what this Disciplined is doing? Effect to your troops for 6 seconds. When Disciplined is active, each time your troop takes kill damage, continuous damage effects are excluded. Recover units. Recovery rate is going to be 40%, but since the what was the oh my god, my headset my headset's becoming wild. But yeah, oh my god, what is happening with my headset? Anyway, sorry about that. So the commander skill is going to give you double the unit recovery from the Disciplined. Disciplined is going to give you recovery units, recovery rate 40%, so it's going to be 80%, strategy bonus up to 2 times per second. So you can see how what kind of crazy healing this bad boy is going to do. Now, activational chance is 30%, so if you have something that is going to boost this activational chance, even though that you actually don't need it, because this Disciplined effect is for 6 seconds. So if you hit 1 time per second, this is going to be with 30% chance, activational chance. This is a pretty solid activational chance from the start, 30%. But anyway, recover unit. If you get triggered by the commander skill, you're going to get double the recovery unit. Now, here is the thing. Is 300 rage cost? 300. There is no initial charge or initial rage when you start the fighting. So I don't believe this hero is going to be good for commander from the start. I don't believe this hero is going to be good from the start. So we're going to check it out, the signature skill. 2 times per second, very solid. 40% still solid. Every 16 times this hero triggers the unit recovery effect. The hero with the highest strategy in the troop immediately activates the signature active skill trigger every 6 seconds, effective when serving as second in command. So second in command, very important to be pointed out. After entering battle, increase the skill trigger chance by 65% for 3 seconds each time your troop activates a signature active skill. Increase this skill trigger chance by 1.5%. It's a very long spell, stack up 4 times, so you can go like 6% here, up to 1 stack every 3 seconds, and reduce your troops damage taken by 1%. Strategy bonus up to 8 times, so it can be 8%, 1 stack every 3 seconds. So this bad boy is also about how long you're going to fight at the end of the day. How long. So here's the situation. What players think, what the players are actually thinking. Most players look at the Confucius and think, okay, hero, just add him to any march and get sustained. Because this is what we're looking from the heroes or support heroes. Recovery and buff. This is just without even checking his spell, I can clearly say that this bad boy is going to increase my sustain. And this is correct for me personally. But this is the first mistake. What players do wrong is they treat Confucius like, you know, like Theodore or any passive hero. So they just book him into random marches where you basically need some sustainability. And I strongly believe this is one of the problems that people are going to get if they go for Confucius. Now, I don't believe many players are going to go for Confucius, but I still believe this bad boy is very strong, and I can give you some ideas. Now, what is the correct decision is you only use Confucius in the fight where you expect heavy skill damage. Now, what does this mean? Where the Confucius is going to shine the most. Very important right now. So yeah, give your attention here. And don't forget to hit one like. You only use Confucius in fights where you expect heavy skill damage. That means swarm fights, AoE fights, skill-based metas. That's where he become insane. Because this is not just a healer. Let's start from there. He's getting this discipline, is giving you crazy amount of healing. And this bad boy is going to make any march very, very tanky. Especially with 30% activational chance. On top of that, having this after entering battle increase this skill trigger chance by 65% for 3 seconds. So immediately you'll start healing. Each time your troop activates signature skill, increase his skill trigger chance by some percentage. So you're going to trigger even more and reduce your troop damage taken by some percentage up to like 8%. Absolutely crazy. That's why this hero is anti-swarm mechanic in Age of Empire Mobile. The more legions hit his legion, the more you're going to get from this bad boy. Obviously, if like I don't know how many, if it's way too much, yeah, obviously he's going to die faster. But at the end of the day, he's going to bring crazy sustain over swarming, anti-AoE, anti-swarm mechanic in the game. Now let's check out the skills. What kind of skills we can bring with this bad boy? We're having Conflignation, deal strategy damage to the enemy troop and inflict burn effect, dealing strategy damage every seconds. Some percentage strategy bonus for some seconds. I don't like this one. Spring Blaze, recover your troop unit recovery rate some percentage and reduce might damage taken by some percentage for 3 seconds. This skill has a 10% chance to recover your troops unit in additional 2 times per activation. Recovery by some 12%. Now this one is a good one. It's going to boost what already this bad boy is having. So we're going to boost this spell, breathing, spring breathing. I think it's even Confucius right here. Oh my god. We have war tactic, deal strategy damage to the enemy troop and recover your troops units. This one is so. And we have peaceful haven. After hero recover units, reduce your troop damage taken by some percentage. This one is also a good one. I think this is the next skill for Confucius. So if I can actually level up and actually max this bad boy, he becomes Super Saiyan or very solid creature. I'm going to even level up this one and make it to see in the full spell how much we can actually get. From this spell, I'm going to actually boost also the advantage. Oh my god. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 skills. So what we can actually get is getting 40% recovery units when disciplined. When disciplined is activated, each time your troop take a skill damage. So it's anti-heavy skill damage recovery. You're going to get some recovery rate, some strategy bonus every 16 after entering, blah blah blah. From here you get recovery your troops units, 25% chance activational chance, very solid, and reduce my damage taken by 12%. Right now in Age of Empire Mobile, you're going to witness more, like maybe 70 or 80% from the legions outside these might related legions. This skill has a 50% chance to recover your troops unit, an additional 2 times per activation, and extra 60% recovery rate, which is absolutely wild, crazy. And here 20% after hero recovery units reduce the troop damage taken 20% for 3 seconds. This is going to be something like permanent, no joke. With this spell and this spell, you're going to anti-swarm, anti-AoE mechanic right there. Now let's talk about some other things, but here's where it gets actually interesting, because even players who understand this are still going to use him wrong. And this is the other situation, the discipline effect. Confucius applies a special effect every time you take skill damage, you heal. Sounds broken, right? And I strongly believe it sounds really broken. Now what players do wrong? They think more enemies, more healing. So they just run into swarms. Why this is a costly thing? Because yeah, I say it's going to have anti-swarm mechanic, but it's going to be costly, and it's different ways of swarm. Now it's one when they're like 5 legions attack you, it's way different when 20-30 legions strike you. And yes, you heal more, but also taking more total damage, get focused harder, lose troop faster, so your healing advantage get cancelled. What to do instead? The correct play is not to get swarmed. This is one of the things. Even though that I strongly believe he can actually tank a decent amount of legions. But still, the correct play is not to get swarmed. The correct play is controlled exposure to skill damage. Meaning, stay near AoE damage, stay behind front lines, take damage, but not all damage, okay? Take some damage, but not all the damage. This is what I can say for the Confucius. Now here's other situation, and this is the healing frequency. Now Confucius heals multiple times per second. It can go up to 2 times per second. This is, yeah, it's like bonus up to 2 times per second. Based on skill damage triggers, this is not normal healing. Now let's talk about what the players most likely getting wrong. Is players stack defense, tank stats, and survivability builds. thinking it's going to help. Why this is actually inefficient if you stack defense, tank stats, or survivability builds. Because Confucius doesn't scale from just being tanky, he scales from skill triggers. So if you're reducing incoming damage too much, you're reducing your healing triggers. We have to point out this thing. Now, you don't want this hero to be way more tanky, and that's why I actually picked this these spells where we get some extra healing and some damage taken reduction. Now, yes, this one is going to make him tanky. Still, this hero needs more tests from what I'm currently building, but it should not be that much that much tanky. But in same time, what to do is, high interactions with the skill damage, which, somehow you have to survive this skill damage. So at the end of the day, you want enough defense to survive and enough exposure to trigger this healing. This is the part nobody actually talk about. Confucius is not a tank. He's a reaction-based hero. Reaction-based hero. Now, I'm going to give you one more scenario, and let's say you run Confucius in a pure tank march. What happened? You take less skill damage, you trigger less healing, your value actually drops. I mean, the value from the Confucius actually drop. You think you're safe, but you're actually weaker. So, in general, for the Confucius, I really believe this is a very solid survivability hero. I cannot say maybe it's going to be the tank one because he's like marksman and swordsman. With swordsman, since the swordsman specialization is going to be tanky, and maybe this is the place, where you can actually build him as a tank or more tanky situation. But with marksmans, you don't want to be that tanky there, because you're going to lose the most important edge of marksmans, and this is the damage. Marksmen or archers are having the biggest attack in Age of Empire Mobile, so you don't want to lose this advantage with this hero. At the end of the day, this is also very important for Confucius. Now, most players is going to pair Confucius with Ramses. Okay, let's me. Legendary is going to be archers, swordsman, and we are looking for tactician. Let's see. Most players maybe is going to pair him with Ramses or random tank heroes. Now, what the Ramses are doing: reduce the movement speed of the tree, enters in the Holy Blessing, increasing strategy, activation of chance, damage reducing with 50% chance to silence effect. So this is very tanky hero. Deal strategy damage for the 20 seconds of the back signature skill. This effect reduce recovering rage per activation. One of the ways is actually to put him with Ramses, and I believe a lot of people are actually thinking over this thing to put him with Ramses, even though that Ramses is also, by the way, archer and swordsman, which is a very interesting thing. So, a random tank hero, because it's looking safe, but what you should, what the most likely players are going to do wrong is going to go for survival synergy instead of activational synergy. So if you're starting to see pattern here in the Confucius about way too much going in direction, way too much tanky, way too much survivability, and not balance, you're already ahead of like 90% of the players if you see these small patterns that I talk in this video. And don't forget to drop a like if you want more breakdowns like this, because most players are still playing this completely wrong. Every mistake is actually cost a lot in Age of Empire Mobile, especially with the medals and etc. I don't want to go in deep what is happening when you invest in one hero and make him like when you invest a lot in one hero. So yeah guys, this will be for this video. I really hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to hit one like, subscribe, and I wish you a great day and see you in the next video.